You're listening to the internet. On today's Into Your Head number 652 for Saturday, harvesting dog ears, investing in coal, mugs versus souls, spitting in the office, tangerines, OCD magicianship, sorting junk mail, the problem with the sardine industry, and lots more. Into your head. Harmonicas walk into a bar. One of the harmonicas straight away goes up to the bar counter and says, "Hello, can I have a pint of your finest air, please? A bottle of oxygen, please?" And the man behind the bar says, "Sir, this is not one of those trendy oxygen bars. This is a bar where you drink. You come here to drink. Drink and be merry, and then get pissed, and then punch somebody in the face, and then go home, and hopefully not get arrested. But no, we don't do the oxygen bar thing here. You want to go into one of those trendy places in the city where the young people go for their air. That's the new craze now, oxygen. The young people, they want oxygen. They want to breathe oxygen into their lung. In my day, we were happy to breathe in smog. You go out in the street and you get hit in the face by a smog cloud straight away, and it was life affirming, I can tell you. A big slap in the face from a cloud of filthy smoke from the local coal factory where they made the coal, or did whatever they do with the coal after they buy it. I don't know. How do you make coal? That I need to know. I'm a barman, but it'd be interesting to know. Presumably you have to get it and put it in the ground for several million years, and then presumably your descendants dig your hope if your company still exists by then. That's a long time, I can tell you. That's a long investment. If you're investing in coal, you're in it for the long term. You have to bury it for millions upon millions of years. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Or is it? I don't know. Nothing wrong with planning for the long term, I suppose, but there's such a thing as being overly long, if you ask me, which you probably don't. Anyway, no oxygen, but hello, and whatever this means, welcome to the show. We've a lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to. Issues that need to be addressed. Topics. Oh, topics. We've got lots and lots of topics. We're positively booming to the seams with topics. We've got topics coming out of this empty mug. This goddamn empty mug. How the fuck does it empty so quickly? I lift it up and pour some down my gullet, and next minute it's all gone. It's the biggest possible mug you can get to. It's one of those Disney store mugs. I've got a new Disney store mugs to replace the one that I broke. I broke it. I smashed it into pieces. I smashed it on the floor. It's broken just like society. It's as broken as society, except not in a metaphorical way, in a very real way. The old mug is broken, but it's okay. I have a new mug now. A new mug. Absolutely fucking fantastic. It's like getting the new soul, except it's a mug. It's more substantial than a soul because it's visible and it's what's the word? It's tangible, like a tangerine. Is a tangible got anything to do with tangerine, the fruit? I wonder. I doubt it very much. But who am I to put my foot down and state one way or the other for certain? I'm happy to admit that I can't be sure of that. I suppose I could look it up, but where would I look it up? On the wiki fucking pedia? No. One of you could go on and change that while I'm saying this, and then where would we be? No. You can't be relying on stuff that's on the internet, such as, for example, this. This is very unreliable. It's probably not obvious to you, but I'm enjoying my new chair and I'm wobbling it up and down as I say unreliable. I'm vibrating myself to the syllables of the word. So you're probably wondering, why is he saying unreliable over and over for no reason? It's for a reason. It's just not for a reason that you can enjoy. I'm having a moment for myself here. I'm very sorry. It's not all about you, you know. Sometimes it's about me. hobby. I do this partially for enjoyment. I get a bit of enjoyment out of life instead of sitting rotting away in some office like you, sitting rotting away in a cave with a typewriter and a screen, answering the phone saying, hello, can I help you? And so the other person on the phone say, I don't know, I remains to be seen, but I'll be very displeased if you can't. And I'll tell you, I'll hang up all grumpy, or else I'll slam the phone down and ruin your day, just as happens to you every day when you're in an office. Well, I'm not in an office. I sit at home doing this and doing house husbandry stuff. So in your face, office workers. There's something in my teeth. There we go. I spat it out. So you see, you can do that when you're sitting at home. You couldn't do that in an office because you get in trouble. People will say, please don't spit in front of the customers. And you'd say, but the customers are all on the phone. And they'd say, do you not understand modern technology? Where if you're on the phone to a customer, then you're pretty much with them. You're having a virtual meeting with them. And it's disrespectful to spit in front of the... and to belch, for that matter. Imagine if I went back to an office today, I wouldn't know how to behave. I'd start a sentence and belch, and then I go, oh, are you allowed to do that? I'm a bit out of touch. I haven't been in an office in about 3 years. I don't know. Anyway, suffice to say, if you're a potential employer, incidentally, listening back to this at some point, oh, there's a text from my wife saying she's at work. I'll just reply, I'm at home. Here we go. Send. Anyway, suffice to say hello. Did I say hello? Yes, I think I did. Yes, I said hello at the end of the short bar harmonica tale. So this isn't a hello segment. This is an on with the show segment. So on with the show. Hello. Elocution lessons. 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 Elocution Elocution lessons. Elocution lessons. Once upon a time, there was a dog. Not the same dog that we discussed on the previous episode. Oh, not by any means the same dog at all, although probably very similar, because all dogs are pretty much the same. You have big dogs and small dogs and in-between dogs and non-dogs and sea dogs and probably flying dogs as well. There's probably some sort of a bird called a flying dog. If you can have seahorses and sea cats, surely to Christ you can have a flying dog. I don't know. Anyway, pretty much all dogs are the same, but it's just not the same dog. It's not the same instance of a dog as we discussed on the previous episode. Anyway, once upon a time there was a dog, and the dog was out for a walk one day. Out for a walk, rambling all over the place, meandering from one ditch to another, exploring everything, farting, belching. Do dogs belch? I don't know. There's a question for you. Do dogs belch? Do dogs, if you're a dog owner and you have a recording of your dog belching, I'd like to hear it, as long as you don't mind signing the rights over to me. Anyway, if you're, where was I? Oh yes, there was a dog once upon a time. That's nothing new. There's always dogs. There's always been dogs everywhere. Since the beginning of time, Adam and Eve had a dog, I'm sure. Oh, they had a snake. Surely to Christ, he had a dog. A snake is a highly sophisticated domesticated creature. Must have evolved from a dog at some point. Anyway, Adam and Eve had a dog. I know what you're thinking. No, I didn't say Adam had a dog. I was very careful. I said Adam and Eve had a dog. So I wasn't referring to his wife as a dog, which would be very insulting. You can't go around saying stuff like that to the people. These people are your great 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 and grandparents. Have a bit of respect, for Christ's sake. Anyway, there was a dog, and the dog was wandering around, and he happened to notice that there was a cat on the other side of the road. He said to himself, "Oh, there's a thing that I should make friends with. I think I'll go over there." So he ran across the road. The cat saw him and made a dash for the nearest tall wall, jumped up on the wall, and the dog got run over by a car because he didn't look left or right. A fucking idiot. That's dogs for you. They're fucking cunty, arsey fucking idiots. They've no road sense. They've no knowledge of the rules of the road. And if they had, they wouldn't respect them. They'd say, "Oh, I'm not abiding by the law. What the fuck's the point of a law? They're to protect me. Why would I want to be protected? I'm not a protected species." Or maybe I am. Or there's probably dogs, types of dogs who are protected species. Is there a protected? I don't know. There's probably a rare dog in some forest somewhere that's being hunted for its ears and fur. It's probably people making fur jackets out of the dog's ears, or making naturally dog-eared books or something. I don't know. Diaries. Dog skin coated diaries that are dog-eared. They put some dog ears in with them. How many dogs would you need to make a diary? Would you need one for each week? So you'd need, that's what, 26 pairs of dog ears. Or maybe not every page would be dog eared. You just have dog skin for a lot of the pages. I don't know. Because you get bored. If every single page of the diary was dog eared, you get a bit bored of that. You want a bit of variety, a bit of spice to life, a bit of this, bit of that, bit of the other. Not all the same. If you have everything the same, you might as well be living your life in a factory, watching the artificial Christmas trees go by on the conveyor belt in the middle of July. Fucking tedious, I can tell you from personal experience. Anyway, on with the show. Monkey nuts. That's what they call them. They call them big, steaming, dolloping, shit-eating, piss-taking, envelope-rubbing. What the fuck does that mean, envelope-rubbing? I think I meant envelope-licking or envelope-sealing or tearing or something. Either way, it doesn't mean anything. Doesn't have means even less than a speck of sand on a beach. Because at least in that case, the speck of sand is a speck of sand and it constitutes part of the beach. If you took out enough specks of sand, the beach would start to disappear. But no, this stuff here, it's so meaningless. You could take it all out and there'd be none. The universe would be nonetheless off. Although maybe the laws of physics wouldn't allow that. You can't take matter out of the universe, as far as we know, or put it in, or create it from nothing. You can't take a rabbit out of a hat unless there's a rabbit already in there or hidden somewhere under the table or something. That'd be a lesson to you. Magicians, if that's your real species. Is magician a species? Probably isn't. It's more of a profession than anything else. There's a magic circle in England. You go and join the magic circle and you become a magician, and they say, "Oh, welcome to the magic circle." It's like being in Harry Potter school, except you get paid. You get paid to go on stage and say, "Hello, here's a pack of cards, and here's another pack of cards, and here's 5 more packs of cards. I'm going to shuffle the packs of cards, and then I'm going to show you that they're all still in the same order." The boxes are mixed up a bit, but they're all the same, so it doesn't really matter. If they're all the same, why does it matter? People get very worked up over this. They're very OCD. They say, "Oh, you've mixed up those boxes now. We don't know which one is the beginning and which is the end and which is the bit in the middle. How are we going to live our lives without everything being in order?" no. And then you see the likes of people going around with their junk mail, putting the same junk mail into every letterbox. They don't put that stuff in order. No. The postwoman does and the postman do, because that stuff matters. But if you're delivering the same stuff to every address, then it can just be in any order. Just make damn sure to hell as Christ not to put names and addresses on anything, because that'll unnecessarily complicate matters, and you'll probably lose money because it'll cost you more to deliver them. You'll be wondering why your leaflet distributors are taking so long to distribute leaflets, seeing as how that's their main expertise. You'll find out it's because, you put freaking addresses and names on everything, and they had to deliver them in the right order, and they weren't in order, so they went to number 1 first, and then number 27, and then number 2, and then number 75. It's all about the preparatory work. In that instance, you have to sort out your stuff in the right order first. It's very important, so, which contradicts what I said earlier. Putting stuff in order is important. I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong about something. As a very wise man once said, better for a man to change his mind about something than to carry on as if he was right in the first place. And then he changed his mind about that. So we'll never know. We'll never know whether it's going to snow. But if we do, we'll hire a hoe. I don't know. I thought that might turn into a song or something. I even have my harmonica here ready in my hand, but it doesn't appear to be. Oh, that reminds me, my old guitar here is nearly 10 years old. I'm going to throw that out and start using wifey's new one whenever I need to. So I'll record my guitar retirement ceremony, and I'll put it on the Into Your Head extras and reruns feed at some point in the near future. So watch out for that. intoyourhead.com/extras. On with the show.
Into your head.
Batteries. Do you need batteries? You probably do. We can't all go on living on just food and oxygen forever. We all need batteries. Well, now you can get your batteries through the Into Your Head website and help the show without it costing you anything extra to our affiliate, All-Batteries. Just go to intoyourhead.com whenever you need batteries and click on the All-Batteries ad on the left and buy your batteries through them. Your car batteries, your Walkman batteries, your shaver batteries, your vibrator batteries, your whatever else takes batteries. They do batteries for pretty much everything. You can have them shipped to your house, your battery operated house, wherever you are. I get a generous commission. You don't pay the commission, they pay me the commission, so it doesn't cost you anything, but you support the podcastual arts just by getting your batteries through intoyourhead.com. Absolutely fucking fantastic. Buy your batteries through me, intoyourhead.com.
Remember, we value the opinions of you, the humble and ignorant listener. Email studio@intoyourhead.com.
Follow Neil at twitter.com/intoyourheadpod and pretend to like him at facebook.com/intoyourheadpodcast.
Into your head.
Two magicians walk into a bar. One of the magicians straight away goes up to the bar counter and says, "Hello, can I have a pint of your finest Guinness, please?" And the man behind the bar says, "Why don't you just magic one up?" And the magician says, "Because the laws of physics forbid me, and for much as I'd like to change the laws of physics, I'm only one person, and I need to get at least 51% of the politicians in this country behind me to make such a change to the laws, and even if I could, I'm not sure that would happen. Although you have to believe in yourself and these things if you want to do anything, if you want to achieve anything, so maybe it could happen, but it hasn't happened yet. Anyway, pint of Guinness, please." And the man behind the bar says, "Oh, aren't you very smart?" And the magician says, "Excuse me, I just came in and ordered a pint. You're the one who started all this crap. You brought up the fact that I'm a magician." And the man behind the bar says, I didn't say anything saying you're imagining that, and the magician says, no, I'm not, and the man behind the bar says, yes, you are, and the magician says, no, I'm not, and the man behind the bar says, what are you thinking about right now? And the magician says, I'm thinking about this conversation, and the man behind the bar says, exactly, you're imagining this conversation right now in your brain. That's not to say the conversation isn't happening in real life, but yeah, you are imagining it as well, as in your brain right now. If you were to turn around the other way so you can only see a blank wall, you'd still be thinking about this conversation despite it not being in front of your eyes. So there's proof for you. And the magician says, I suppose you have a point there. Now can I have that other point that I ordered? And the barman says, oh, that's very clever. You do humour as well, a little pun, aren't you? Aren't you great? You're like Paul Daniels, or to foreigners, you're like, what's his name out of Penn and Teller, the one who talks. Although I prefer the one who doesn't talk. The one who talks a bit much, and the one who doesn't talks a bit too little. I suppose the idea is that they balance each other out, but I'd rather if one of them talked a bit less and the other one talked a bit more. I'd like to hear what Teller has to say for himself. I believe he talks in blogs or somewhere, or something. I heard he talked somewhere, I forget where. Is it in a blog, or is it in his biography or somewhere? He has a lot to say somewhere apparently, but apart from that, no. Anyway, here's your pint of Guinness. The magician says, oh, that was quick. Guinness usually takes about 5 minutes. And the man behind the bar says, yes, we've been talking for 5 minutes. I intentionally led you down into this stupid conversation to distract you from the long wait for a Guinness. And the magician says, oh, that's very clever. I'm very impressed. Thank you very much. And the barman says, you're very welcome. Have a lovely day. And the magician says, oh, I will indeed. I will indeed have a lovely day. Although now that you mentioned it, it's 10 o'clock at night. Are we talking about today or tomorrow? And the barman says, we're talking about wherever your imagination leads you. There's no boundaries in this world. You can be wherever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do. And you can drink this pint and get drunk. And forget about the world. Forget about your troubles. Forget about your cares. Throw away your cares into the old chimney pot and drink yourself to death, at least until closing time, which only gives you an hour or two. You better get a move on. Do you want the vodka as well? You probably do. I probably shouldn't be pushing it on you though. Anyway, have a lovely day. And the magician says thank you very much and goes down to his seat, where he remembers that he's with another magician and we're supposed to be getting around, so he has to go back up and get another pint for the other magician, but that all works out eventually. These things work themselves out eventually. There's no point getting worked up into a hizzy about them. I present to you a piece of journalistic work that I did several years ago for one of my websites, entitled Sardine Manufacturers Have Got It All Wrong. You could do a lot worse than to live your life by the dictum S. Auriles agrophobia, which, as you are no doubt fully aware, means drink water until the fishes no longer have a home. That said, many of us find seawater to be a little too fizzy for our tastes. I, for example, have gone to great lengths to ensure that our home's water supply comes from an inland source. I decided to have the courage of my convictions, and one day rang up the water company and demanded that they connect me to a non-salt reservoir. To my surprise, it turned out that I was pushing on an open door. Not only did they give in to me without an argument, but the telephone operator promised to disconnect me from all seawater sources at the push of a button within the hour. I was most impressed. I'm now seriously considering venturing into the utilities business on my own. My idea is to drill for heating gas in one of the lakes around here, then become a supplier of water and gas through one single pipe from the same source. The efficiency savings will be enormous, and not only that, the gas could be used to heat your bath water in the pipes before it even reaches your house. The other alternative that I have in mind is to go into fish farming. I will specialise in oily fish, but unlike other manufacturers, I will heat the oil in the factories and sell hot cooked sardines in tins to those whose lives are far too busy to go around heating small fishes. After finishing their sardine meals, customers will then have the option of pouring the oil into the central heating system, and assuming they eat sardines 8 times a day, they'll be saving a fortune on household bills. I've always been baffled at the way the sardine industry works. They are so set in their ways and seem determined to carry on their age-old practice of picking tiny baby sardines that are so small they have to put a dozen or more in each tin. Many of them don't even have a business class section anymore, so no matter how far your company's travel budget is prepared to stretch, you have no choice but to be squashed in with your 10 or 12 siblings as you make your way home, without so much as an in-flight movie to keep you entertained. Smoked salmon manufacturers, on the other hand, wait until the fishes have grown nice and big and tall, then they put them on a diet so that each salmon is tall and wide but very flat and can be squeezed into an easy-to-transport flat vacuum pack and brought by rail or road to its destination. In my youth, I spent the summer working as a packer of artificial Christmas trees in a local factory, and if I took anything away from that job, it is my ever-present awareness of the irony of turning real trees into cardboard boxes, then putting fake trees into the boxes. It really does make you think. It also makes your arms very tired, so I left after a few weeks. Nowadays, of course, kids refuse point blank to eat pork, dolphins or sharks for dinner, thanks to movies like Babe, A Shark's Tale and Free Willy. Parents are so desperate to get their little angels to consume something healthy that they have taken to disguising sardines as gingerbread men, just like the one in that fairy story. Let's hope to Christ Disney don't try to turn that into a cute little movie. Walt Disney, ironically, had his entire body cryogenically frozen on death because of his obsessive fear that his corpse might, against his wishes, be fed to pigs after his demise. Pigs, of course, are renowned for their inability to eat frozen food, and the late animation creator remains intact to this day.
The Into Your Head podcast will be right back after this. We're back with the Into Your Head podcast.
2 closing segments of a podcast walk into a bar. One of the closing segments of a podcast goes straight up to the bar and says, "Oh, looks like we're almost out of time here." Not that there's any timular restrictions on this, although if it gets towards around half an hour, it's a good idea to finish up and start working on the next show if you have any extra time, or do something for the extras and reruns feed, or do a segment for next week's Overnightscape Central over at onsug.com on the topic of death. Although you did that already. You were up at 6 o'clock this morning doing that. You were inspired by the call out to discuss death. Anyway, watch out for that next week at onsug.com. But no, he says, "Can I have a pint of your finest Guinness, please?" And the man behind the bar said, "Did somebody say something?" And the man sitting beside the podcast closing segment says, "I didn't hear anything. Did you hear something?" And the barman says, "Yes, I did. That's why I bring her up. Why would I bring her up if I hadn't heard anything?" And the other man at the bar says, "I don't know. Maybe you were making it up." And the man behind the bar says, "No, I wasn't." And the closing segment of a podcast said, "That was me. I was asking you for a pint of Guinness. Can you not hear me? It's as if I'm not real." And the man behind the bar says, "Oh, I think I hear something. I think it's another one of those closing segments of a podcast. The problem with those is that they don't exist until the end of the podcast. Even if the end of the podcast is approaching, the segment doesn't exist until it's being finished and saved as a file, and that this one is still in progress, so it's basically still being birthed, and that's why we can't hear or see it properly yet." So that's the problem, really. I hope it's not one of those closing segments where they talk about the closing segment walking into a bar, in which case that's not going to work unless he does a second closing segment to discuss that. He'll have to save the original closing segment first so that it exists, and then we'll be able to see it. So if there's any closing segments who can hear me now, maybe there's one standing in front of me trying to order a Guinness as I say this, you need to save yourself and then come back. So the closing segment of the podcast says, "Oh, I see. Sorry about that," and walks out. Anyway, good morning.
Support the podcastual arts at no cost to you. Just click through the Amazon link at intoyourhead.com whenever you go shopping for anything, even if you use Amazon UK or Canada. We'll take your weird foreign money here. We're not proud. Just visit intoyourhead.com and click on the appropriate Amazon banner. Sit, Pippi, sit. Good cat.
IntoYourHeadPodcast.com.